Hi, this is Diana from the Doll Planet. I sell nylon doll hair on both eBay and Etsy, and I will leave the links in the comments. Today I am going to attempt to show you how to do my most requested tutorial, and that is how to reroot a part, but how to do it beautifully and easy. So, in order to do this, as far as tools, I've got my Reroot tool, and I've got my small needle today. Sorry, you guys know I'm not that great when it comes to like showing focus and detail, but this is a number 7. Dearla has a fairly small head, and when we're making plugs for parting, we don't need a very big needle on the majority of dolls. I have 2 different colors of hair. I've got both the green Link and the brown Peppermint Patty that I'm going to be using to create her part. I have them off to the sides here, but I'm going to be pulling them up as I start using them. I also have, which is kind of key to getting your hair done, is I've got my straightening iron. A styling wand could be used too. This is just my weapon of choice. I have a styling wand as well, but I find that not as many people are familiar with those, so that's why I'm just sticking with this to make it as easy for you as I can. And this is optional. It's something I use. I've got a cup with just some regular water in it. I tend to stick my fingers in it and use it to flatten the hair from time to time. Some people may not want to do that. That's how I prefer it. Okay, so in case this tutorial gets super long, I'm just going to get started and babble along the way. So, as long as you've got hair from the Doll Planet, you're pretty much good to go. That is the main ingredient here. That and a little bit of heat. So, we're not going to really be rerooting any differently than we would any other section of the hair, for the most part. As you can see, I've got a very small piece of hair. What I'm actually going to do is, even though this is thin and what I would normally use if I was rooting a piece, I'm actually going to do it in half. So I'm doing half the amount. You can barely even see it on the camera. That's how small amount you do. I'm going to be doing half the amount I regularly would when I am rerooting the holes. So I'm going to angle this up just a little. So I've got my really small piece of hair, and I showed you how I reroot in a different tutorial, so that is all that I'm doing. And so I've got my thin piece. I'm going to start at the top here. You see she's got some holes, but they're not very straight. I don't like that. So I am going to be punching holes as I go. So there is a hole right here, so I'm going to use that one. So I'm going to punch that in, and it's really thin, as you can see, and there's a reason why. And another important thing to notice was that I attempted to angle it inward. I'll do that several more times and hope that it makes sense as I continue to do it. So I'm going to take the other half of the plug and reroot that in the same plug. That's why we use so little hair. Okay, so before I came at an angle this way. Now I'm going to go into the same plug, but I'm going to go in and punch it in the same hole in the opposite direction. And because we're using such a small amount of hair. Sorry, her antlers are kind of an obstruction. I should have thought of that beforehand. Now I've got two very individual pieces of hair in one plug. I'm going to do this a couple more times, really quick. And again, I apologize for the lack of video quality. That is not my thing. I play with doll hair. That's kind of my thing. So just taking a small piece, wrapping around the finger. Right now I'm just using Link. I'll be adding in some peppermint patty, and I can even add some in on top. A really small piece, and I'm going to try and stick with the same formula of going back and forth on the same sides. So there's actually not a plug where I want it to be like right next to it, because we want a part to be tight. We don't want to have any bald spots or any or it to be crooked at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a plug right there. So I just punched that in a little bit firmer than usual, and I've created a hole. If for some reason you have tearing with the vinyl, that does happen. It can happen on any doll, just about any time, especially if the head is hard or if you're being a little too rough. The way to fix that is with liquid fusion, or as I like to call it, the glue from the gods, because this stuff is amazing. You literally just squeeze a little dab on there, give it about 45 minutes to an hour to dry, and because it has polyurethane in it, you can still puncture through it, and so it's like you've created a coat of vinyl on top of it. Okay, so got my fourth plug here. Again, I'm going to come in at the other side and try not to get it tangled up in the antler, and go back to this hole that I just made. Okay. I'll do it one more time before I show you how to get it to stay. Again, split my plug in two, wrap it around. Try to get my shaky fingers to cooperate. That's why you guys do a way better job than me. You guys probably have wonderful steady hands. Not like me. I have to work a lot harder at it. So trust me, if I can do it, you definitely can do it. And there is a hole right here. So I'm going to puncture that. Same process. Grabbing my other half. Oh, I got a tangle in it. I'm going to just stay in frame here. Okay, so now we've got these little, they almost look like flyaway hairs right now. So, not that amazing. So, I do this every few plugs to not only kind of keep myself in check, but to keep the hair nice and tame as I go along. So, I'm going to grab my comb. I think I may have mentioned, forgot to mention that that's something that you might need. I'm using a wide tooth metal comb. It is great for synthetic hair. It's pretty much the only thing I use these days. I will have some for sale in my Etsy store soon as an Etsy exclusive item. So now I have just grabbed my comb, and because they were already separated based on the angles that I rooted them, see how easily it just holds like that? I'm just holding the hair down with my fingers. So now I'm going to take my straightening iron, which I've already preheated, and I'm going to just hold it down for a few seconds. Sometimes I don't know why, but I rub it. I don't know if that helps. And now, as you can see, her hair is flat and she has the start of a nice, clean part. I'm going to continue doing this. If I can speed ahead, if I can figure out how to do that effect, I will totally do that. Her hairline, and as you can see, I've pretty much just been doing the same thing all the way down. When I saw a bald spot or an uneven spot, I just would go back and punch a hole there. And I would even, sometimes I even come back and add another half of a plug on a certain side if it started to not look as even. So I hope that you've been able to tell by how I've been trying to hold it. Again, I'm left-handed and I'm super clumsy. That I've been holding the needle at an angle. She's just about done. I've been, sorry. This is why I kind of avoided tutorials for a while, because I knew that things like framing and lighting and focus were not going to be excellent. And I figured the internet was going to, like, you know, tear me a new one for being so lousy at it. So I apologize, and I'm just doing what I can. Okay, I'm going to backtrack and jump a little bit ahead up here, because see, just the teeniest, tiniest little bald spot. And when you're using such a small amount of hair, you can go in and do that without it creating an issue with the hairline or with like the overall look of the hair, because you're using it in such small amounts. And so in this case, less is better. She's almost done. Just kind of got that one big plug there. Right at the edge of her side part. I think I'm going to finish it off with brown. She ended up not getting very much brown in her hair, and I was rerooting her overall, so I'm going to add some more. This is my hank of peppermint patty that I have to the side, so I'm just grabbing a piece and dividing it again. My husband thinks it's nuts the way I just keep doing this, but I guess for me it's habit. If you want to start by dividing all your plugs first, you know, you can definitely do that. You might probably even go faster. I just tend to divide as I go. So there's no, when it comes to rerooting, there's a lot of things that there isn't really a wrong way. There's just your way and the way other people do it. And so if you figure out a really awesome way how to part hair, you know, go with it. Technically, that's what I'm doing. I don't know if this is an actual technique or not. I just learned how to do it, and I've never seen anyone else or heard of anyone else doing it like this. So as far as I know, I'm the only one that does it this way. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my straightening iron again. I moved it away because it was so warm it was just getting in my way. And one more time, just laying it on top of the head, pressing down on the part, trying to, and then getting it on the sides a little bit as well, especially because I'm in the front here. And I don't want that one to lay down flat against the face. I want it to come over this way, so I'm just going to encourage it over here for a little bit of heat. Okay, let's see how it looks. What do you think? Pretty nice, huh? And super easy. And as I mentioned earlier, I have my cup of water here. So I'm only doing this at the end. Normally I do this the whole way I go, but I didn't want to be more confusing than necessary. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting a few dabs of water on her hair, making sure that this is in fact how I want her part to lay. So I've more or less got it laid out the way I want it. This is almost like putting hairspray on an area of the hair. I don't know if you can hear that, the hair, or not the hair, the water burning off as I put the heat up to it. And so what that does is it just kind of cements it down, almost keeps it in place. The more water you use, the more times you use it, the better it will stay that way. And now, as far as her rerooting, Dearla is done. And she's got a really easy, really nice looking part. This was the first part tutorial. There's a lot of other variations. Obviously I started using, this one was a factory created part. I'm also going to do a tutorial showing you how to create your own part and how to do a part to create pigtails. So I hope this helped. Again, check out my store, The Doll Planet, on both eBay and Etsy, and have a great day.